Hello, today we will be talking about how to reverse your insulin resistance. So we're going to be talking all about the techniques, about how can you reverse your insulin resistance by doing some changes in your lifestyle, and which diet would be the best for you to actually reverse your insulin resistance. So first we're going to be talking about the changes in your lifestyle, and this is something that you probably have heard before and might not have understood why is that so important. So insulin resistance comes from many sources. It can be caused by hormonal problems, it can be caused by stress, and might be caused by diet. So first thing we're going to address is actually our lifestyle, because believe it or not, if you have very high levels of stress hormones might actually block your ability to lose weight. So first thing you're going to want to do is find a way to de-stress. Cortisol, our stress hormone, is making our blood sugar higher and therefore making our insulin higher. So what are the ways you might be able to cope with stress? First of all, make sure you have a consistent sleeping schedule. We should be getting somewhere between 7 and 9 hours of sleep, so please try and do it on a constant basis. Second thing is general de-stressing. So if you are now in a situation in your life that you know causes stress, try to think about how you could make it a little bit better. Maybe you could change your workplace, maybe you could start working from home a little bit more, maybe you're in a relationship that is stressing you out, or maybe you have a friend that is stressing you out all the time. Try to do everything that you can to be your best friend and try to look after yourself and de-stress. What I would recommend as well is try meditation, or try taking moment just to be present. Take a walk in nature, try to breathe, relax, lay in a hammock, read a book. Try to do whatever you can to lower your stress levels. Now, another important thing to consider is exercise. Exercise is making us a little bit more insulin sensitive, so what you should try and strive for is move at least 30 minutes every day. Now, try not to overtrain, because actually overtraining or making overly intensive training can cause your cortisol to spike again, stress your body out, and actually make you stop losing weight. So if you think that, for example, you're in a very stressful moment in your life, start taking walks, and that will be the best way to actually move your body. Maybe consider doing yoga and doing exercise that is not too taxing on your body, but still makes you move a little bit. Another thing to consider is resistance training, because this is another thing that is actually proven to improve insulin resistance. So not just walks, maybe not just yoga, but actually doing some sort of resistance training. Again, try not to overdo it. Go slow. Maybe start from 2 times a week, maybe raise it to 3. But again, slowly start with small weights, maybe start with your body weight and go from there. And now we're going to start talking about diet. Many people with insulin resistance find it very difficult to lose fat. Now, make sure you check the video that I made actually on insulin resistance, when I'm actually explaining why very often we are on low-calorie diets and we cannot lose fat. Because what we actually have to do if we have insulin resistance is trying to lower our insulin levels in our body. So how do we do that? Insulin is actually made in our body every time we eat, but there are certain type of macronutrients that is actually making us excrete more insulin than the others. So of course you probably have heard about it before, that carbohydrates, especially simple carbohydrates, are actually raising our insulin the most. So what you can do, there's few types of diet adjustments that you can do. You can either go all in and do something extreme but get really quick results, or you can go step by step. Make sure you also watch my story with insulin resistance, and believe me, I understand that this is not easy at all, especially if you're struggling with binge eating and stuff like that I've been through. There are first few steps that you can start. If you want to start very easy, you should start putting more stuff in your diet that you probably haven't been putting before. So start putting more fiber in your diet. Put more fibrous vegetables. Start to learn maybe how to eat salads. I used to hate salad. Maybe first start to, when you're doing maybe your chicken in sauce, start to put some vegetables inside, and then start to gradually teach your taste buds how to enjoy a salad, and start incorporating those things. So start to maybe swap some of the bad things you're eating for a little bit more of the good stuff. And slowly start cutting back on carbohydrates, especially highly processed carbohydrates. So move on from processed foods to whole foods and start cutting back on your potatoes, on your starches, on your grains, even on your oats. Slowly take them back. Another thing that you would want to do, now when you have quite a whole foods diet, maybe you have a little bit of, oatmeal in the morning here and there, maybe you like a banana, just not to go insane, maybe you even eat ice cream on Saturday night. Try not to eat between meals. So try not to pick the food all the time. Try to set, for example, 3 meals and stick to those times, and don't eat anything in between. You might start noticing that you have those little sugar lows, but we are going to address that in a minute. So try to do as much as you can in terms of not snacking all the time. Every time we eat, remember, we get insulin spike. Another thing to do when you're already eating, try to eat slowly, because the signal to the brain from your stomach is sent 20 minutes to an hour later. So try to eat slowly so your brain actually gets the signal that your stomach is full. What you might do as well is try to meditate before food. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but if we are eating in a stress situation, we're actually going to end up eating more because our insulin is actually spiked a little bit more, and also it's difficult to hear that signal from your body. So try to de-stress before you eat. Now, next step, I would recommend to try intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting has been very trendy for a few years now, and there is a reason for it. Because in intermittent fasting, you stop eating for longer periods of time, your insulin just not being excreted from your body. So your body is kind of learning again how to survive and how to function without that high insulin levels. And then after a while, it learns how to start taking from the fat when you don't have food coming in. So what you want to do is pushing your eating window by 30 minutes every week or two. If you usually eat breakfast at 8 o'clock, try this week eating at 8:30. And see how you feel. After a week, you're gonna notice that actually between 8 and 8:30 you're not very hungry. Push it to 9 and keep on pushing this breakfast until, for example, you are at 12. Then you might skip lunch, and then you might just end up eating 1 meal a day. I'm going to make a separate video about intermittent fasting as well, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so you're up to date about videos on insulin resistance and how to reverse it. But intermittent fasting is certainly something to try. And then if you're intermittent fasting already, during all this time that you're not eating, if your eating window is for example 8 hours and you're fasting the other 16, your body has to learn how to start taking from your own fat and to burn fat. And this is revolutionary. And the longer eating window you make, you will also start noticing that you're not hungry at all. So when you stop feeling hunger, you're gonna know that it is working and that your body is actually burning your own fat. So let's say you decided to go for 16-8 intermittent fasting, or maybe 18-6, or maybe even 24, or maybe even 1 meal a day. Now, in this 1 meal a day, for now, you can eat whatever you want. So when I was at this stage, I was eating a pack of crisps, pack of chips, like little cheesy balls, every single night. And I didn't feel guilty because all the other time of the day, I was lowering my insulin, but I was still getting this spike in the evening. So in my case, all of my symptoms connected to insulin resistance didn't disappear. So I knew that I had to go all in. Not everybody will have to do that, and you might just stay on intermittent fasting, or you might just stay on whole food diets, and you're gonna see your symptoms are getting much better. But the last step is low carb or keto. So whether you decide to, let's say, go back to 16-8 and do keto, or go back to 16-8 and do low carb, or do 1 meal a day and do keto or OMAD, this is gonna be super powerful. Again, if you watch my video where I explain insulin resistance, you will see that every time we eat anything, a little bit of insulin has to be excreted in our body. However, the biggest amount has to be excreted when we eat carbohydrates. When we eat protein, it's a little bit, and when we eat fats, it's very, very small. So if you are eating only proteins and fats and tiny bit of carbs, and those carbs are coming just with fiber, from fibrous vegetables, then your insulin is going to be on a constant low. So I definitely recommend trying ketogenic diet at some point of your life. Now, some people that are very insulin resistant have a strong will and don't take these steps one after the other in the order that I actually told you, but they're going straight into keto. And if you can survive on a keto for first few weeks, your cravings will disappear, you're gonna rapidly lose weight, and your insulin levels are gonna go down, granted that you don't have any heart inflammation in your body, that you are already de-stressed, because stress will ruin everything every time, and that you don't have maybe some other coexisting health problems that might stop the weight loss. But at some point, what many people, and especially many keto warriors, are not talking about is that you might choose to do keto periodically. What I found for the first time when I was doing keto, I did it for 2 months, and for a year later I was still doing much better with my sugar levels doing just intermittent fasting. So you can use it as a little bit of extra boost when you can feel that you're gaining weight again, maybe you see that your cravings are coming back and so on. You can go back to keto and maybe go out, be a little bit more low carb, or maybe just do intermittent fasting and just do whole food diets and so on. I hope that helped, and please like this video, subscribe and click the notification bell so you get notified about my new videos, and make sure you follow the playlist about the insulin resistance so you know all the tools in my story and how this all works and how you can also reverse it. See you in the next video. Bye.